We as consumers have more power than perhaps we often realize we have. And in these dark times, people are starting to exercise that power by choosing to spend or not spend money to make sure that it's in line with their political values. Or if you want to shorten it, hashtag go anti-woke, go broke. And so a lot of people are starting to do this. 4 out of 10 Americans polled have shifted their spending over the last few months to align with their moral views. 31% of Americans reported having no interest in supporting the economy this year, which is a wild number. 1 out of 3 people. We're not saying they don't want to support like a particular local donut shop that's too MAGA or whatever. They don't want to be a part of the entire economy, which is wild. And for some groups, it's higher. Gen Z's at 37%, black respondents 41%, much higher than white respondents. Democrats at 35%. Even 28% of Republicans don't want to have any part of what they're seeing. A quarter of respondents have even stopped shopping at their favorite stores because of their politics. And for some groups, like black respondents, it's at more than 1/3. They see companies making decisions that they don't like, and they're opting out of it. And so a lot of people have seen the rolling back of DEI commitments to not, to avoid being targeted by the Trump administration as a betrayal at this point. And you see that in big companies like Target and Walmart and Amazon as well. Some of them are actually facing lawsuits. Target is facing a class action lawsuit that claims that they defrauded investors by issuing false and misleading statements concerning their actions supporting the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates. And more broadly, its environmental, social, and governance policies, which is actually a really clever strategy. I mean, they sold people, like investors, big investors possibly, on this is the sort of company we're in. This is the promises we're making, and they're not doing that. And it has actually hurt them. Their share prices have fallen quite a bit since the election. And so, look, some of this is gonna be conservatives. They get involved in their boycotts too. They don't wanna drink Bud Light. They don't wanna go to Target because it's got a t-shirt they don't like. And they're obviously free to do that. I'm not Elon Musk. I don't think you should be locked up for boycotting something or whatever. I would also point out though, that doesn't mean it's the same thing, right? Like conservatives can be mad at Target for something having to do with the LGBTQ community. And in this, maybe libs are also mad at them, but is it really the same? Like if you stop shopping at a company because they tell a group of Americans that they don't care about them anymore, don't care about protecting them, is that the same as not shopping at a company because they have a t-shirt that acknowledges the existence of a member of that group? I don't know, both are boycotts, but I feel like there's some pretty important differences between them. But anyway, we are seeing that, both on the left and on the right, a lot of protests, a lot of boycotts going on. Viviana, I'm curious what you make of this.
Has it been a trend that the boycotts from the right don't really come to fruition? Like they make a big fuss about it, like Bud Light, and then they don't, really do anything. But we are seeing with this political change. I mean, if you look at the Bud Light commercial from the Super Bowl, it was like the most like, I don't want to call it toxic masculinity, but it was like that big old long cooler. And it was like dudes, lawn dads, rah, what a change from like having, a trans spokesperson. So I do feel like the left is a little bit better at protests and at boycotts than the right. The right is good at making a lot of noise. But at the end of the day, our dollar really going back to like, let's defend capitalism a little bit. Never thought I would. That's what if you live in capitalism, supposedly, which I don't think we do right now, that's what it's supposed to be. You speak with your dollar. And so I applaud right and left do it. I don't know that the right has followed through, but we'll see.
Yeah, and it could be buying or not buying something, participating with a service or not using a platform. And I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, seeing all these tech billionaires sucking up to Donald Trump almost literally, like I wouldn't want to use most of these platforms too. And I think that is the power in our system that we have. I think people should use it. And in terms of like the effect of the protests from the right on like Anheuser-Busch or Target, like I went to look at the stock prices to see how it's going. And I love data, I love a good chart. It's hard for me to say for sure for these companies if that's why their stock price is low, because all stocks are down since Donald Trump became president because his economic effect has been utterly chaotic, and the oncoming trade war that we're gonna have is making a lot of companies really worried. So basically the stock market's just had a really tough time for the last month anyway, but maybe in the long run we'll be able to give an updated evaluation of that. For now, we can just say what we've been saying all episode, it's just chaos and crime. That's what we're experiencing in all areas. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.